28 minutes left on my phone, so I'm gonna have to hurry up here. I'll show you. What else can I show you? Yeah, me and my wife are gonna have a top-notch jet interior to ourselves, man. Looking at a top-notch jet interior from me and wife's jet, man. A top-notch jet interior. It looks like top-notch. Yeah, imagine something like this, man. With the interior of my jet. It looks like top-notch. A jet like this. This is the jet that we're gonna be using we're used to fly in the crewmen and all the actors. It looks like top notch, man. And hence why my series we missed, and hence why these actors can play their asses off. As in Hollywood, the actors get flown commercial. Hollywood can afford to fly actors privately. They're just cheap. They're not gonna fly them privately because they're fucking cheap. When the actors from this film, they're flown commercial. Whereas for me, all the actors are flown some of the actors are going to be flown on my jet, and the remaining actors are going to be flown privately with the crewmen to what to America once I finish filming Miscellaneous. And the ones who don't live in Los Angeles, their tickets are all covered for their commercial. Because most of the actors live in Los Angeles, so I'll have the jet land in Los Angeles. Where the crewmen who don't live in Los Angeles, I'll have their tickets paid for. They'll have to fly commercial with wherever they live, whatever it is. And hence why Scars will be the best running entertainment business. And hence why you're fucking welcome, Victoria, as I wrote this amazing book. I told you my story. I wrote this amazing book. I told you my story. And I finished this amazing fantasy novel worth billions, better than Lord of the Rings. It's because of this I get to save my wife. And she gets to live the billionaire life with me. And hence you're fucking welcome, Victoria. I fucking saved your ass. Yeah. Now I'm going to go back to the topic. Right? Now about the special effects team I want to bring on board. For my last Overzeus movie, so for the CGI technology, I want to have the special effects team who worked on Passion of the Christ. So one guy per movie. So I'll have a special effect person who worked on Passion of the Christ for the horror, Avatar for the world building, Lord of the Rings for the world building, obviously, the original Lord of the Rings, Matrix for the action sequences, and Matrix for the action sequences, It for the horror of Eratet the Wolf King, and Underworld Rise of Vikings for the action sequences. For the actions, you combine those minds and you're looking at something unheard of for the special effects. So the special effects team I want to bring on board, I want to bring the people who worked on Passion of Christ for the horror, right? One guy per movie. Avatar for the world building, Lord of the Rings for the world building, the original Lord of the Rings, Matrix. I can have the people who worked on one of the three Matrix. I don't know which Matrix. I can hire one special effects person who worked on any of the Matrix movies for the fighting sequences. Who worked on Pennywise. It for the horror of Pennywise the Clown. So the people who do the special effects for It, hire one of those guys that way they know that they have some good ideas for the horror of Eratet. And Underworld Rise of the Vikings for the fighting, as well as you have the werewolves. So you have some good ideas for the horror of the wolves for the movie. Again, Eratet is not a werewolf. He's not a wolf with four legs. He's a wolf with human features and wolf features, except he looks like Pennywise the Clown. So he's not looking like a werewolf. No, if you do that looking at a flop, he's a wolf with human features and werewolf and wolf features, but he looks like Pennywise the Clown. And if you combine those minds, I'm telling you right now, you're looking at unheard of quality for the special effects. I'm putting $340 million for CGI, hence they're going to burn that $340 million for CGI. Hence, you're looking at unheard of special effects for my last Overzeus movie. And hence why Zeus will be one of, if not the best story ever told in motion picture. Right? So the reason why I want these guys is because they are good for the amazing Last Overzeus movie. You have Passion of the Christ and It for the horror atmospheric. So Passion of Christ, you got the horror with the demons, obviously with Jesus, and the whipping and all. So for the horror. You also have It for the horror of Pennywise the Clown. You combine those minds for the atmospheric horror of Last Overzeus. Somebody looking at something unheard of. As well as Underworld Rise of the Vikings and Lord of the Rings and Avatar for the world building. Right, and action sequences, and Matrix. Well, you have Lord of the Rings and Avatar for the world building, and Underworld Rise of the Vikings and Matrix for the action sequences, as well as you have the werewolves. You have wolves, they're wolves. So they'll have some good ideas for the special effects for what? Eratet and all them. And so you have Matrix and Underworld Rise of the Vikings for the action sequences, Lord of the Rings and Avatar for the horror, and Underworld Rise of the Vikings for the action sequences, as well as some of the horror. So I'll hire those guys as my main special effects team. And their assistants, you can hire a few for one of those movies. So I'll hire those 6 guys, I'll have them be the main people for my special effects. And I'll hire a few assistants to help them. Right. Again, I'll be willing to pay all the main special effects team a nice $2 million, and their assistants I'll pay like 160K. Pay them a lot of money, that way they work hard for you. Remember when I said about not being greedy and cheap, but be greedy and generous, but at the same time don't be greedy and stupid. So I'm going to keep saying this. I'll be willing to pay all the main special effects team a nice $2 million. So all the people that I mentioned, those guys, one guy per movie, I'll pay them $2 million, that way they work hard for me. And their assistants, I'll pay 160K, that way they work hard for you. You feed them all at the lunch buffet. Remember to not be greedy and cheap. Be greedy and generous, but not to be greedy and stupid, as these guys are not worth any more than $2 million. As $2 million is me being really, really generous. As in Hollywood, they get like 300K, 400K. So me paying them a salary is me being very, very generous. But I know that if I pay them silly money, they're going to slack off. Hence, if you pay them a lot of money, they're going to work their asses off for you. They're not going to slack off. As in Hollywood, they put pressure on them. It's because they put pressure on them and they get served with shitty food and they sleep in shitty trailers. The special effects people, they slack off. Oh, fuck, I'm not going to do this. I'll continue this some more. And hence why you got the bobbleheads of Black Panther. You got the cheesy rhinos in Black Panther. You got the cheesy fighting with T'Challa and Killmonger in the end. You know what I'm saying? You got the bobbleheads on top. Yeah. Hence, they're going to slack off more. Right? You're going to slack off more. Whereas you pay them a lot of money, you feed them well, nice luxury buffet, they're going to work hard for you. And again, Hollywood, if you can't afford to pay them against $2 million, which you can't obviously, at least feed them a buffet. That way they work harder for you. If you feed them shitty food, one plate bullshit, and put pressure on them and pay them shitty money, they're going to slack the fuck off, man. That's why you got all these problems in these movies. If you pay them a lot of money, whereas for my movie, I'm not going to get any of that. All the special effects team are going to work their asses off. Okay, Ivan paid us a lot of money. He fed us well. He spoiled us. Let's not fuck up his movie. Let's work. They're going to work their asses off. They'll even stay an extra 3-4 hours just to make sure the special effects are well done. Otherwise, if you pay them shitty money and don't feed them well, they're gonna slack the fuck off, and you're gonna get some cheesy scenes in the background and all that stuff. That's why you pay them a lot of money. That way they don't slack off. Right? Almost done here. Again, if you want your special effects team to work harder for you, pay them a lot of money. That way they do not slack off. Otherwise, if you pay them like 60K or 200K and feed them shitty one-plate bullshit like Hollywood, you will get shittier special effects. I'm going to keep saying this. If you want your special effects team to work hard for you, pay them a lot of money and feed them well. That way they don't slack off. As in Hollywood, the special effects team, they get paid like 200K, 60K or something like that, 250K. They get shitty food, one-plate bullshit, and they get pressured on. If you do that, they're going to slack the fuck off. Hence why do not put pressure on them. Pay them good money. If you can't afford to pay them good money, at least feed them well. That way they all work hard for you. And don't put pressure on them. Special effects is so much work. The last thing you want to do is get paid shitty money, get fed one-plate bullshit, and have all this pressure put on you. And then you're stressed out and all, and you end up, slacking off in the project and hence why you got cheesy special effects for all those movies. Right? So I'm going to keep saying this. If you want your special effects team to work harder for you, pay them a lot of money. That way they do not slack off. Otherwise, if you pay them like 60K or like 200K and feed them shitty one-plate bullshit like Hollywood, you will get shittier special effects. Remember what I said about Black Panther, how you got the bobbleheads in the beginning of the movie, the cheesy rhinos in the war, the cheesy fighting with T'Challa and Killmonger, that was horrible. The cheesy fighting with T'Challa and Killmonger, that was horrible fighting. Too much CG. The horrible cheesy rhinos. When the rhinos hit those guys, you can tell it was cheesy. It's like the rhino was hitting the air. They fucking slacked off. The special effects team fucking slacked off. Yeah, the bobbleheads on top. When they're like T'Challa. Remember that scene in the beginning? The bobbleheads on top. You saw the bobbleheads on top. The special effects team slacked off. The two giants, Lion, Wizard, and Warrior, who were seen in the beginning of the war, and afterwards are nowhere to be seen afterwards. The ladders out of nowhere in Lord of the Rings. Where did those ladders come from the orcs? Remember when the orcs were marching for the Helm's Deep battle? Remember how you got the ladders that appear out of nowhere? It's because the special effects team slacked off. That's why you got shitty quality like that. Yeah, man. That's a plot hole. Where did those ladders come from? I never saw the orcs holding any ladders. The ladders came from nowhere. When they're seeing the Helm's Deep, yeah, because the special effects team's like, oh, they got paid shitty money, like 60K. They got fed one-plate bullshit. They slept in shitty trailers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hence they're gonna slack off. They got pressure was put on them. Hence the special effects team's gonna slack off. Yeah. Right. Right, so you have the cheesy rhinos in Black Panther, the cheesy fighting with T'Challa and Killmonger, the two giants in Lions vs. Warriors who were seen in the beginning of the war and afterwards are nowhere to be seen. The ladders that came out of nowhere in the Lord of the Rings War, in Two Towers and Helm's Deep. Where did those ladders come from? Yeah, right. Where did all those people go when Aragorn and them went out to march? I remember before when the orcs were marching, there were a bunch of men, and all of a sudden there were 10 men left. Because the special effects team slacked off. Yeah, man. If you pay them, I'm telling you right now, if you pay them shitty money and feed them one-play bullshit and put pressure on them, Hollywood, they're gonna fucking slack the fuck. Hence why you get all these cheesy scenes in these movies, because the special effects team slacked off. Whereas for my movie, none of them will slack off because I'm paying them a lot of money, I'm feeding them well, I'm releasing brand new trailers for them to sleep in. There's nothing worse than sleeping in a shitty trailer and seeing mold on the side. No, I'm gonna release brand new trailers for them to sleep in. Right? I'm gonna feed them with a nice luxury buffet for breakfast and lunch. Give them 3 beers once a week. I'm also gonna pay them good money. That way they don't slack off. Hence why you're not gonna see any cheesy special effects for Miscellaneous, because the special effects team are gonna all work their asses off for my movie. Whereas in Hollywood, they all fucking slack off because Hollywood's cheap. They share them one play bullshit. They pay them like $60K. The main people they pay like $200K. Yeah, hence they're gonna and they have them sleep in shitty trailers. Hence they're gonna slack off more. Yeah. Right? The two giants in Lions Wars who were seen. Remember those two giants at the beginning of the war in Lions Wars? If you saw them, afterwards were nowhere to be seen. Yeah, it's because the special effects team slacked off, man. Oh, fuck this. I'm going to add these giants, and fuck this. I'm not going to add these giants anymore. I'm getting shitty money. I'm getting shitty food. Fuck this. And they slack off. Yeah. Right? The two giants in the Lions Wars who were nowhere to be seen afterwards. Well, it's because Hollywood is fucking cheap. They pay the special effects team shitty money and feed them one plate bullshit, shitty food for breakfast and lunch. Hence, the special effects team will slack the fuck off, man. I'm telling you right now, man. If you pay them shitty money, give them one plate bullshit, put pressure on. I want this done in a month and a half, and you put a lot of pressure on them, the special effects team are going to slack off. You're going to get cheesy quality in your movie. Hence, why for movies you always see the cheesy fighting in the background. You always catch some cheesy scenes. Why? Because the special effects team slacked off. And if you can't pay the special effects team good money, Hollywood, feed them a nice buffet and have them sleep in nice trailers. You don't have to have them sleep in brownie trailers if you can't afford it, but have them sleep in nice, decent quality trailers. Feed them a buffet. That way they work harder for you. If you feed them a buffet and have them sleep in a nice trailer, they're going to work hard for you. Whereas if you feed them one plate bullshit, they're going to slack the fuck off, man. But there's nothing worse than eating one plate and afterwards you're still hungry and you got to work for hours. No. Feed them a nice luxury buffet, Hollywood. That way they work harder for you if you can't afford to pay them a lot of money. I'm throwing this out there, Hollywood. Don't be cheap. Right? Again, unlike Hollywood, I will not put pressure on the special effect team. Once production is done, once Last of Us is finished, I will ask them, hey, can you get this movie edited in 4 months or so? Do that for them. Don't put pressure on them. That way they're not stressed out. As I guarantee in Hollywood, the studios put so much pressure on the special effects team. So for me, after I finish Last of Us film production's finished, for post-production, me and Mark are going to stay behind in the special effects room. When I'm going to ask the special effects, hey, can you guys edit this in 4 months? Don't put pressure on them. Ask them, hey, could you edit this in 4 months? Don't say, I want this done in a month and a half. Don't do that. Otherwise, they're going to slack off. Ask them politely, hey, can you get this done in 4 months? They'll say, yeah, I can get this done in 4 months. Don't put pressure on them. That way they're not stressed out. Because special effects is so much work. Special effect is more work than acting. It's more work than all that stuff. It's so much work. It's grueling. Hence why don't put pressure on a special effects team. Ask them how long can you finish editing the movie. That way, what? They're not stressed out and they can finish editing. They can finish editing your movie for you for the special effects. Do that for them. Don't put pressure on them. That way they're not stressed out. As I guarantee you in Hollywood, the studios put so much pressure on a special effects team. Like, I need this done in 2 months or something like that. At the same time, they serve them cheap food and have them sleep in shitty trailers. Hence, pay them shitty money. Hence, the special effects team will slack the fuck off, man. I'm telling you, man. So, because Hollywood, I guarantee you, they put pressure on the special effects team and they pay them shitty money and give them one plate bullshit food and have them sleep in shitty trailers, the special effects team will guarantee slack the fuck off. And hence what? And hence you won't get a good movie. And hence why you got the bobbleheads of Black Panther. You got the fake rocks in the waterfall scene because the rocks look fake, right? You had the cheesy rhinos in the end. That was horrible. You had T'Challa and Killmonger, the horrible fighting scene. Horrible CGI there. You got the two giants who were seen last wars are not to know to be seen. You got the liars that came out of nowhere in the Helm's Deep War in Two Towers. Why? Because the special effects team slacked off. They slacked the fuck off. Yeah. I told you, if you pay them shitty money and sure them won't play bullshit and put pressure on them to finish it in 2 months, these guys are gonna slack the fuck off and you're gonna get delays in the project, man. If you don't put pressure on them and you serve them a nice buffet and give them 3 beers every week, right? Have them sleep in nice, decent quality trailers and pay them a lot of money, they're actually going to work hard for you. But Hollywood obviously can't afford to pay them $2 million. But if you can't afford to pay them $2 million, I told you, feed them a nice buffet and have them sleep in nice quality trailers. That way they don't slack off, and that way they work harder for you. And that way you don't get cheesy quality for your movies like you did for those movies I just mentioned. Right? About 12 minutes left on my phone. I'm almost done here. And hence why for Miscellaneous, I will get the best special effects for my world building. You're looking at unheard worlding better than Avatar. The action sequence is better than Matrix. Remember that scene in Matrix Illusions when he was fighting Smith? Picture someone like that, except they're fighting with swords and axes. Let's be top notch for the war. The war, the action scene with the bats, the war in the beginning with Takis the First, the battle scene with Tacitoins and Cassius against his 50 men and 24,000 wolves, a full fool in them. What, you look at something top notch, yeah. Hence, I'll get the best special effects for my world building. The action sequence is better than Matrix, and especially the horror of Airtime because I'm paying all the special effects team a rich salary, spoiling them with a nice luxury buffet and 3 beers once a week. As well, I'm gonna do once a month parties for the people. So for the people staying behind for post production, I'll do once a month parties once a month because it's not fun working for like editing the movie for 4 months. So the doc team who are staying to edit the doc and the special effect team we're going to be staying to edit the movie, as well as the doc team and the remaining chefs who are going to remain to cook the food, as well as the people maintain the bathrooms. People who are staying behind, I'm going to do a once a month party. That way it brightens the mood because it's not fun being in the middle of nowhere. And I might not be in the middle of nowhere. I might be in a room, but it's not fun being in the middle, being in a room working for 4 months straight. Give them a nice once a month party. That way they work harder for you. So I'll do a once a month party for me and my wife and the remaining crew staying for the post production. That way it brightens up the mood because you're looking at a shitload of work. You're looking at a couple months of editing, man. You're looking at a large file, like 4+ months of editing, man. This has been crazy. But they're gonna work harder for me. The special effects team are gonna work harder for me. You're looking at unheard worlding for my last Miscellaneous movie, better than Avatar. Action sequence is better than Matrix, and especially the horror of Airtab because I'm paying all the special effects team a rich salary, spoil them with a nice buffet and 3 beers a week, as well as a once a month party once a month. As well, I will not put pressure on them to get the film done. I will ask how many months they'll need to edit the movie. With a good chance they're looking at 4+ months. 4+ months or even more than that. Maybe 5-6 months. You never know. You're looking at a large file, man. The doc footage will take maybe a month and a half to edit around there. It won't take as long, but the movie you're looking at you're looking at months, man. It looks like crazy. And that's why you pay them $2 million. That way they work harder for you. Because putting the special effects onto the scenes takes hours, days. It's a shitload of work. Imagine a 12-hour movie adding the special effects for a 12-hour movie. Look at something crazy. It's going to take them months to edit the movie, man. Hence why you pay them a lot of money, you pay their assistants a lot of money, that way they work hard for you. You feed them all a nice luxury buffet, you give them 3 beers, you give them a once a month party, that way they all work hard for you. Right? Don't forget they will also have so much money to burn, $340 million towards CGI. Because in Hollywood, a lot of the special effects team, they probably get mad because they only have a certain amount of money to burn for the special effects. Hence why sometimes you get some cheesy scenes, obviously. Whereas for my movie, they don't have to worry about running out of money because it's unlimited amount of money. $304 million is double more than enough for a movie. As most movies have like 40 million in special effects. 35 million, 40 million special effects. I'm putting $340 million towards the 3 volumes for the action scenes, for the world building, and for the horror of the wolves. The special effects team are going to have so much money to burn. You're looking at they'll have so much stuff put in for the special effects. You look at something top notch, right? Don't forget they'll also have there's some noise. I'm almost on the video, so I'll just drag it out. So you hear the noise, excuse it for a couple minutes. Don't forget they also have so much money to burn, $340 million towards CGI. Hence, they'll have a lot of money to burn for world building, the action scenes, and the horror of Airtad. As putting that much money towards CGI, you're looking at the devil himself on the big screen, and unheard of action is better than what? Matrix. Right? And hence why Last Hope for Zanes will be the best story ever told in the motion picture, as you're looking at unheard of action sequences, world-building, unheard of horror. Right? Now, very quickly here for the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you pictures. I'm going to show you how top-notch the world of the North you're looking at for Zanes, man. You look at something top-notch for the world of Zanes. You see this? See this picture here? Think of something like this. Think of something like this for the world of Zanes, man. See this? Picture something like this for the world of Zanes, like a nice, like advanced medieval world. See that? Picture something like this for the world of Zanes. Look at something top-notch for the world of Zanes. That's how top-notch the land of Zanes you're looking at. You're looking at something top-notch for the land of Zanes. You're looking at an unheard of world building, man. So picture a world like that for the North. A nice, beautiful world like that for the North, man. And the South is cursed. The South is like, the South is cursed. Right? Look at something crazy for you. Look at something like that. You look at something like that for the North, man. You're looking at unheard of world building for the North. Yeah, for the Force of Galathia, think something like this, man. Picture something cursed for the Force of Galathia. Imagine something like this for the Force of Galathia. I have 7 minutes left. I'm gonna try and drag this video out. There's people upstairs, but there's not that much noise. I'm almost on the video, so I'm just gonna finish this video. So look, think of something like that for the Force of Galathia, Cursed Forest. And that picture I showed you earlier, think of something like that for the North. You're looking at an advanced medieval world like that. So picture something like Avatar, except the world looks more natural. Look at something top notch. The Force of Galathia looks something top notch. What else can I show? I'm gonna try and drag this video out for another 6 more minutes. Yeah. For the Vlan of Barak, think something cursed. I already showed you some pictures of ideas of what I'm talking about. Think of something cursed for the land of Barak. Yeah, think something like this for the land of Barak. See that? Picture something like that for where Eretat lives. You have the Valley of the Dark, and the land is barren, it's cursed. Think something like that for the land of Barak. I don't know what I want the land to look like. I'm gonna have to talk this over with console arts. Me and my wife, the 2 script developers who I'm hiring, we're gonna have to talk it over with the console arts. Again, there's a good chance Jon Favreau. I'm done with the pictures here. There's a good chance Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will be the 2 hard candidates. Again, Jon Favreau, I'm willing to pay him $12 million for Zanus. He'll agree the deal is at $7.2 million in your bank after the 4 years. Dave Filoni, I'm willing to pay him $8 million for the 4 years. If they're hired, they're gonna be helping me building the wall of the North, the South, Barak, Zanus, Saphius, Cyrus. You know what I'm saying? The Force of that. They're gonna be helping me they're gonna help me with all that. Again, guys like J.J. Abrams, Jon Favreau was a good candidate too, but those guys are already like contracting in Hollywood. J.J. Abrams signed a $500 million deal for his company for Warner Bros. If J.J. Abrams were hired, I'd be willing to pay him $60 million for all my movies. So Jon Favreau, I'm willing to pay him $12 million for all my movies. J.J. Abrams, I'm willing to pay him a $4 million salary for all my movies. For all my movies, I was willing to pay him $60 million. But even then, which is like $9.9 million in your bank, $9.6 million in your bank. But even then, that's nothing compared to how much he's making in Hollywood. Rian Johnson, I'm willing to pay him like $2.3 million per year, around there, which is a good salary, a $2.3 million raise salary because he's pretty big. But Rian Johnson's working on Star Wars Trilogy, and J.J. Abrams signing Huge in Hollywood. Those guys are out of the picture. And Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are also contracted for Mandalorian. But if they're hired, they're going to be in that room with me and my wife, They're going to be in that room with me, my wife, as well as the assistant director on the console arts, and they're going to be helping me build the world of the North. Again, I showed you pictures of how beautiful the world is like in Zanus. That picture I showed you, the North, the South, Barak, Zanus, the River of Tinus, the Mountains of Gilead, the Forest of Lathia, Saphia, Cyrus, Barak, the Gilead Caverns, the Gilead Mountains, you know what I'm saying, the Gilead Mountains in the north, the Gilead Mountains in the south. Yeah, the marshes, looking at something top notch. They're also going to help me create the most horrific beings in movie history. That's going to be the most interesting part. The most interesting part of the contest will be creating the most horrific beings in movie history. Again, I showed you that picture of Pennywise the Clown. You're looking at something 3 times scarier than that for Aratat, and 3 times more scarier than that for Aratat. And that's why you're looking at the devil himself on the big screen. That's why Skysys will be a top-notch brand, and Last of Us will be the best we ever made. One over, not the best we ever made. And I showed you those pictures. You're looking at something unheard of for my world building. You're looking at that picture I showed you. Picture something like that for the North. A beautiful world, like Avatar, except more natural. The South is cursed. That picture I showed you. Picture something like that for the South. The forest is cursed. You have the Valley of the Dark, the Forest of Galactica, 200 feet tall trees, it's cursed. Then you have the Valley of the Dark. Then once you pass the Valley of the Dark, you're now in Barak, and that's where Aratat lives. You have the cursed Gilead Mountains in the south. You have the Gilead Mountains in the north that's not cursed, at least at the city's edge in the north. You have the land of Zanus. Again, that picture I showed you, picture somebody like that for the north. A beautiful world. Yeah, you look at something top notch. And that's why, if Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni hire, they're going to be lucky Joseph Wheeler and they're going to be saved. If they're not, I'll hire someone else. There's many other cans out there. And hence why what? Me and Mark can be living the life. And hence why you better not take for granted. As I don't play around during garbage, I don't play around death. Once I find out how wicked you are, that is the last time you're going to hear from me again. Now, once I'm king, I'm going to live my life with my wife forever. Well, you guys can live your life, and I'm peacing out forever. Well, this is it for this video. Stay tuned for my next video, which will be Ivy's Miscellaneous Series, Phase 4, Finished Groundling Editing, where I'll be talking about the editors I want to bring on board. So I wanted the editors who worked on Lord of the Rings, the originals, one editor, and I'll hire an assistant who worked on Avatar. I'll hire 2 editors. I'll pay the one editor $2 million because editing is a shitload of work. You're looking at months of editing. So you not only have months of special effects editing, you have months of film editing. You're looking at something fucking long. As I'll pay the main guy $2 million. I'll pay his assistant $160K. 2 editors is enough. I did some research. 2 editors is more than enough. Stay tuned for that video. Looking at a very video for that. And again, I'm almost on my book. I only have 3 more phases left. And my book is ready for release on Lulu. And once I make that final announcement, find out how wicked you are, I'll pay his fee, cry my eyes, and I'll save my wife, and I'll be peacing out forever. So stay tuned for my next video where I'll talk about the groundling editing. I'll talk about the editors I want to bring on board. This is Ivan Omer. I'm signing out. Peace.